All right, sports fans, let's try this again. The internet is connected to the devil because right when I have something that I want to talk about and I don't feel I got a nasty whole head cold, it cuts off. So let's see if we can get somewhere with this. You know, we were once the greatest nation in the world, but we started eroding quite a while ago, and most people didn't realize it. We started eroding when we let women tell us what truth was. We started eroding when we allowed women to tell us, based on their feelings, that no one was going to say anything contrary to whatever it was they believed about something, and we let them have sway. Now, this video is going to offend everybody because if you look at the roots of our country, we had many good roots, but we also had the cancerous bacterial infections early on. Just as Eve believed the lie that God was holding out on her and denying her right to access to knowing good and evil, Eve was the first feminist. She was the first one that bought the feminist lie. The devil tempted her, saying, "Know you not that God, the male God, is telling you you can't eat of that. He doesn't want you to know something." And the Bible very clearly says women were deceived first. Women don't like to hear that. Women like to stand up and wear their little gym meters, and they can get on TikTok. They can get on, dominate social media now. It doesn't matter if they're fat. It doesn't matter if they're skinny. It doesn't matter if they have a bull ring in the middle of their nose and barbed wire sticking out of their faces and tats. They are full of ego, full of overconfidence. You cannot get through their cranium with truth. They are full of themselves, and every one of them has a following greater than Pacific, simply because they're a female. Objectivity is not going to be found in most American women. The social media platform is basically a temple religion for Western women, where they can exalt themselves, where they can parade their dinner, their dog's cute shenanigans, their child as if though it's the only child in the universe, whatever. And it brings in comments and hearts, and it is the fuel that fuels and keeps these women going. Vanity. Oh, a guy's walking by. Let me pretend I'm important and let me talk on my phone. Let me talk on my phone. I just pretend I don't see him. Women are and have been for a long time extremely shallow culture, and women are very, very close in tandem with them. We see some skin showing, we see some tit meat, and we're gone, baby. We're gone. But listen to what comes out of women's mouths. A dog's tongue is like the cleanest. Really, drinks out of the toilet, licks its butt and balls, cleans its dirty self, eats nasty dead stuff or garbage on the ground. Is this true? Of course it isn't. I have a cold, so you have to bear with me. I don't do things the way other YouTube artists do it. We in this country have been hoodwinked by polish. I've been working with furniture lately, restoring pieces. Um, One of them I recently acquired was an Art Deco dresser that has veneers on it, but it was beautiful. I bought it. It has the wrong knobs on it. I'm trying to find the poles, but modern American Home Depot Lowe's stuff doesn't fit. It's 4.25 inches. Most of your drawer poles that they offer 3 to 5 span. They were probably Bakelite, which was the precursor to plastic, but I did a light sand on the veneers and I put a couple coats of varnish on it, and it looks good. And I took some candle wax and waxed the wooden edges of the drawer and the inside where the drawers slide. If you ever have stuck drawers, not the ones on ball bearings and rollers, but the old school drawers, take the drawer out, turn it upside down, and wax it. It doesn't damage the wood and it greases it up so the drawer will slide easier. Especially when you have humidity content constantly changing like you do out here in the good old dirty South. But veneers, you have to be careful. You can't use coarse grade sandpaper and put your elbow grease into it, or you'll cut right through the veneer, and then you have a complete worthless piece of junk furniture. And I notice with our society, when you say things like Pacific does, when you use the hard grain sandpaper, it's always going to rub people wrong, which proves that America is a very lightweight nation, that men think they're tough, women think they're badass, want to be men, but they cannot handle or deal with truth. Truth is the greatest weapon against the enemy. Truth is the greatest weapon against people that just believe foolishness. But it can also endanger you if you stand up and say the kind of things that Pacific does. You're not going to have friends. You're not going to have popularity. People might even threaten you, which has happened to me more than numerous times. And, you listen to what women say. Women always start a movement. They do something. They started with the dogs. And, the dog thing, now you're not going to hear a man stand up and say, I think you're overly obsessed about pets. Men, if they want to get date with a woman, got to talk baby talk to the dogs and talk dog talk. And that's the new way to woo a woman now, is to get all up into dog shit. And to me, I've said it and I'll say it again. It is this Pacific's express opinion that this dog obsession is nothing more than a mental disorder among women. You see people getting on Facebook, and instead of pictures of their face, because they're probably not attractive, it's dog, dog, dog. And their entire Facebook page is devoted to stupid dog stuff. That right there is symptomatic of a woman with no depth, no mystery, no mystique, certainly nobody you want to follow. That's somebody who has died. They put a dog up here, more than people, more than God. And you spell a dog backwards, and what do you get? God. Women disagree with me. It doesn't matter. Most of them are wrong anyway, and they'll never, ever, ever see the light until it's too late. They can have all the opinions they want of me. They will and always do, always have. Nothing changes. Just like I said in my previous video, trying to reach Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, atheists, or Democrats is impossible because they're all cults. So are most Western women. You cannot reach them with the truth. Their feelings dictate what they will believe and how they view the world. Not truth, not substance, their feelings. Women were made different than men. And feelings are not a bad thing, but if we use feelings to dictate truth, then we're going to have some problems, and we do. Look at the leading liberal women. Ilhan Omar, Tlaib, Pelosi, AOC, Hillary Clinton, Dianne Feinstein, who's now gone. Good riddance. These women, their thinking was obtuse. Their thinking wasn't based in fact. It was based on their emotional state. And you cannot get through to women like that. AOC is not a politician. She's a bartender. That was it. Big boobs, strutted up and down a bar serving drinks, got big tips for showing big boobs and cleavage, whatever. And now she's in politics telling everybody that we're harming everything. A woman who's afraid of a garbage disposal. A woman who makes 175,000 a year as a politician. A woman who has two places to live, both upper end expensive. A woman who is not riding her bicycle or living on the Great Plains in a teepee. Women in the Democratic Party, they operate on feelings. If you look them in the eye and say, none of you are living off the land, none of you are living off the grid, and you're supporting a party that wants to tell me that our trucks and cars that run on gas and diesel need to go away, you're a special kind of dumb. I read an article just this morning about the Tesla trucks, or yet last night, that a guy took it through a car wash and it became a brick. It wouldn't start. He had to reboot the computer to the truck. That you're supposed to go into something that says car wash mode. $80,000 for a computer monstrosity, and they're already finding that the stainless steel is rusting on the truck. And you're not supposed to use certain things on the stainless steel. This is a fussy, high maintenance. This isn't a truck. This is a woman on wheels. Fussy, high maintenance, overpriced, and in the end game delivers nothing of satisfactory customer service value. No offense to Elon Musk, but the truck is not a truck. It is an ugly, ugly creation. And somebody accurately said it, a mechanic at Denver School said it. You can tell the geeks got into the design department. You know, you see vehicles now, some of these pickups, instead of a rounded wheel well, now you got this lopsided thing. It's like, wow, who thought that was attractive? Look at cars, look at SUVs. Other than the Camaro, the Mustang, and the Challenger, which actually harken back to the old school style of muscle cars. But look at a pickup now. Look at the GMCs with their high topped doors and the big Ford quad cab. I'm going to criticize this because I hate it. You know, quad. Oh, it's a quad. Men think they're so tall. Oh, I bought me a quad cab. What has happened to us? No one wants to say a four-door pickup, and you don't get a long bed anymore. You get a chopped up 5.5-foot designer bed lined with Tupperware. They're not trucks, man. I posted on my thumbnail a deuce and a half for sale in out of state with a snowplow on it. They painted it a maroon, red, and black. Beautiful truck. They want 26,000. That's more than I want to spend, but it's beautiful. I'd love to have it, the color and everything. You're going to get more value out of that truck with a 12-foot bed, diesel engine, 4x4 when you shift it into the transfer case, and that thing can go anywhere. And you're going to pay for a pop can lined with plastic and leather and too much electronic stuff. You're going to pay more than that for a used Silverado. And you can't do anything with that Silverado that you can with a Deuce. And people get what they pay for. Men have become vain. They really have. Excuse me. Men think they're badass driving around in their overpriced hoopty. Now these stupid Ford Broncos, it just looks like another suburban invasion of silly men and women that think they're badass because they bought a Bronco. They don't look anything like the 1960s classic Ford Broncos. They took part of the hood design and that's where it stops. And it's all plastic. And I watch videos of these guys showcasing a deuce and a half. The canvas, you know, army green seat cover, steel dash with real gauges and the sound of a real diesel engine and a turbo. And I'm like, you know what? What's not to love about a solid steel beast? I just finished a classic book. If anybody wants to read one of Clive Cussler's best, I finished this last night, and without giving it away, this is just everything but fun. This is has twists and turns, and it's called Flood Tide. But the real writer, Clive Cussler, is was a classic car collector. He died a few years ago. He was in Colorado, but he actually has a Duesenberg and the straight eight cylinder engines. Talk about a powerful, awesome engine. The straight eights were way better than the V8s. It's second gear in a Duesenberg, you go 85 miles an hour. And you got these little babies today. They get their little rice rockets that sound like a fart can tearing up and down the street, 3 inches off the ground, no style, no nothing. If they hit a tree, it'll split it in half. A Duesenberg, the Packards, the Cords, those old cars were something else. They were automobiles. They were like $20,000 back in the 20s and 30s. They were high dollar back then. Now, I think a Duesenberg is somewhere around $1 million. I mean, if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? And that was putting on the Ritz. And we've been dumbed down as a society to think, oh, things are so much better. I was hired by a lady to change out a lock set on a storage door to the outside of her house. They had broken into it using a credit card, and she didn't have the key for the deadbolt above it. So I said, why don't I just change the whole thing out with a doorknob I took out of my house that I won't be using? And then you'll have the same key for both upper and lower locks. And I did some trimming and stuff. And we were talking about how quality has diminished over the years. We were talking about how nothing is she's an African American woman, and she was telling me that she'd have people come over and they wouldn't finish the job, and they said, "Well, I'm not coming back," and want to charge too much. And I was going somewhere with this, and I lost my train of thought, so forgive me. But we were talking about how quality has taken a dive, how you're not getting what you used to get. We were talking about music. She is a black woman, says she doesn't like today's modern black music with the cussing, the F word, the N word. She said, I don't want to listen to it. And you have diminishing returns in our generation. You have Cardi B's WAP. You have Taylor Swift soaring to the charts. Taylor Swift is not a 10. Fake dyed blonde hair, like all of them do. Irritating to listen to. She's got a fan club that doesn't quit of shallow, superficial women and men. And she's just like she's in high school. Oh, I'm dating somebody on the football team. I promise you that that's not going to last for any length of time. Doubtful. Billy Joel and Christy Brinkley, Uptown Girl. He should have come out with the sequel, Downtown Girl. We men have bought into the lies that, oh, women are cute. And so are dogs and puppies and kittens, but they do a lot of damage. And we've got to realize it's very difficult to find a good woman in all aspects. But what amazes me about men is how they keep naturally gravitating towards what I call the plain Jane women. They're not cute, they're not sexy, they just got a pair of boobs and a vagina. And guys go silly over them. I know, I have too. I feel like Taylor Swift is like a box of rice cakes. You've tasted one, you've tasted them all. And you look at her and the celeb status and what she pulls in on a concert, it's nothing short of disgusting and angering. Blue collar Americans like myself and many of you will never see that money in a lifetime. And she's not doing good for society. All these little TikTok queens and all these little TikTok and real stars, all these young women, now it's gotten so bad that you got tween girls growing budding nipples, no bra with little skimpy shirts. Today I'm going to show you how to do back stretches. And they're staring at the cameras, they're leaning back, the nipples are poking through the shirt, and Facebook is not banning this stuff. In fact, they're putting them in the feed. Here's something we suggest for you: promoting pedophilia. Social media, Instagram is doing it. Google is doing it. Let's talk about one of the greatest lies out there. Let's talk about Google. Let's talk about, why is it when they bust somebody for child porn, they don't bust the search engine site that hosted it? You ever paid attention to that? Google shares no responsibility, and our laws in our land are stupid. It's like busting a man driving around in his automobile or truck, say in Spokane on Sprague, or Colfax in Denver, or Hennepin in Minneapolis, or Van Buren in Phoenix, and picking up a hooker. As soon as the cops see that, the man's busted. Why don't you go get these strutting ladies out there? Why don't they go after Google and say, you are hosting stuff that has direct access to contraband? We're going to subpoena all of you guys. We're going to bring your organization into court. And they should arrest them. The Geekster India guy that heads up India, and the women, which are all, by the way, very much involved in fucking with the election. They were doing it in 2016. They're going to do it again. They don't want Trump to win. And this lie that the Democrats throw out, calling it a democracy. It is not, and was not, a democracy. It's a republic. Democrats won't use that word. Democrats, once again, are attempting to pull a military-style coup. And look at Biden the other day saying 75 million Republicans are the greatest danger we face. 75 million Republicans. Yeah, we're the ones that aren't paying our tax. We're the ones that riot. We're the ones that tear up everything. We're the ones that cost too much. Really? No, it's the Democrats. Biden's an idiot. He's truly the definition of an idiot. And the American public that keeps supporting a clown like that, the brain is no longer functioning. It is a cult brain. It is a brainwashed brain. Jean-Pierre looks like a toilet brush if you turn her upside down. She is one of the worst, right along with that Pataki, Raggedy Ann. Biden's had two of the worst press secretaries in the history of the presidency. And Pataki got hired on by MSNBC. Once a liberal, always a liberal, and you got job security. She's not good journalism. She's not a good public speaker. She's rude, she's snarky, and she's a bitch. She's not a professional. She's an emotionally driven, rude woman. And I'm going to say it again. There's something wrong in America when you got a Jean-Pierre get up there, I'm black and I'm lesbian. Oh, good. Thank you so much. That just comforts me. You cannot and will not answer direct question. Ever. Will not. What is the point of a press secretary? It's a dog and pony show for the liberals. When a president has to read from a telemonitor, not fit to lead. People have marveled when I go on about my video, said, "I noticed you don't have notes or anything." Sometimes I have notes if I got key points I need to remember, but no, I don't write scripts up. I just talk. And if you're the president of the United States, there should be no teleprompter. I should have my little 8.5 by 11 or whatever college spiral notebook and write my bullet notes. That way I got something to reference. But I should look at the TV and say, I don't need a teleprompter. I don't need a speech editor. If I am in a leadership position, I can't talk to the American people. I don't belong in a leadership position. I don't need to see somebody's eyes speed reading something. It's sick. But America's always been like that. Remember Gilligan's Island? I still bring this up. I know I repeat this all the time. Sherwood Schwartz, and you hear that canned laughter. That and the Brady Bunch, same shows, canned laughter. Why do we have canned laughter on TV? Why do we have greeters in a church? Because we live in a society where it is not naturally within people to get up out of their chairs and get out of their comfort zone and welcome somebody. That's why. And when churches have to beg for people to greet, we know the church has lost her function. I go to churches where there are greeters. And the people that are the most friendly of any churches that I've gone to date are mostly white churches with white elderly people. They're very welcoming. The younger generation, no. When we have to be told when to laugh, when we have to read a speech as the leader of the greatest country in the world, something's wrong. But let's go on. Let's continue to rebuke the culture. When a Cardi B or a Taylor Swift can rake in millions of dollars on a concert for music that really is not what I call raw talent. Go back and listen to the greats. The 60s, 70s, the 50s. Go back and listen to real musicians with real bands. Taylor Swift is bubblegum and it's ABC gum, already been chewed. It's like, this isn't good. Music today is not anywhere near what it was back when I was a kid. But shallow people flock to Taylor Swift. There's nothing about Taylor Swift that's even remotely attractive, in my opinion. She's boxed cereal by General Mills. She's a dime a million. There's no intrigue. Oh, I'm dating somebody on the football team. Oh, welcome to high school. Can I help you? And when she gets up and comments on Donald Trump, oh, okay, so we want Taylor Swift culture. That's going to do a lot of good for this country. She's never worked a hard day in her life. And social media and the media and the liberal left media has given a platform for every narcissist girl, young or old, to parade their foolishness around every day. And because they're showing skin, they'll get all the likes, all the hearts. And to see grown men leaving their dumb comments, man, you're really beautiful. Can you WhatsApp me? She ain't going to talk to you, buddy. She ain't going to talk to anybody. She's going for the long distance marathons of getting all the likes and having people send her tons of money for this crap. Even in the Philippines. Just 2017, 7 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. I got tons of friend requests from Filipinas. I don't get one. They don't even have a friend request option anymore. It's now a follow. Do you want to follow this person? That even women in the Philippines that wanted to get married, and I'm looking men who love me. You don't see that anymore. The global village has become one through the internet. You can get PayPal, you can get all kinds of apps on your phone where you can send a payment worldwide now. And young ladies, unbeknownst to their parents, are getting money sent to them on their phone while they're partially disrobing or showing provocative 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old stuff that if that was my daughter and I came upstairs, I'd be pulling the computer plug and saying, no more. We're done with this crap. And Western women like to call men pigs for looking at that. Pedophiles. Western women that cockblock men won't date men. And men get on their social media and they're not going in there with any intent. And then they see recommended and they pull it up. And you got some young lady with developing nipples. And guess what? Biology sets into play. And women in this country like to beat up on men for that. Stand back from those women and watch what they go after. Watch what they consider hot. Some movie star scum. Some sweaty, hairy, filthy, tattooed beast like LeBron. James LeBron or LeBron James, whatever his name is, I don't care. That's not a man. He used to play a sport, make tons of money, and live like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then tell all of us that we're racist and the cops are bad while he sits under round-the-clock police protection in his gated neighborhood. The definition of a man in this country has lost its complete meaning. Playing basketball for big money is not manhood. Being a rapper and singing vile, filthy lyrics is not manhood. It is not feminine nor ladylike for Taylor Swift and these feminist, yucky women and Cardi B to sing crap. And if that's not enough, they're making tons of money off of that crap. And you even hear women saying about prostitutes, well, they're working girls. No, they're not. They're fucking. And why should any man pay them to fuck? Why have we lowered ourselves to that? The lies that women believe that a dog's tongue is clean. Yeah, right. The lies that say Democrats are the party of compassion. Letting in illegals and fentanyl and drug addicts. A teen girl was taken out by some Mexican illegals and they don't care. And the Democrats are the party of compassion. They are responsible for the death of 61 million children. They are responsible for the death of 61 million children. And the feminists and the cult like mindset of Democrats will not listen to what I'm saying. They are guilty of bloodshed, and it will all be on their heads in front of the living God in due time. Abortion is not about choice. That's a lie because the person in the womb didn't get to have a say so. It is Nazistic tyranny of self-centered, narcissistic women that don't want to be encumbered with a pregnancy, but they couldn't think about that before they opened their legs at the bar the night before. I am not going to take the side of women on this, ever. They're selfish, they're cruel, and they will kill their own child. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 3:1 on, without natural affection. People try to post that into the gay thing. No, it is a natural affection for a mother to feel a nurturedness towards a child. And you're going to murder it in the womb saying, it's my choice. No. There are many lies that Americans believe. It started with the Easter Bunny. It started with Friday the 13th, rabbit's feet. It started with Santa Claus. And even the church has perpetuated all the lies and myths. The church finally capitulated and celebrates trunk or treat. Totally ridiculous that we bow to the children, we bow to the culture instead of raising a standard and saying we are not participating in this foolishness. Well, but Pacific, it's a way to outreach people. Give a bunch of bad kids candy because they dress up like a ghost or goblin. That's important, right? Christ Mass, which is Catholic to the core, and a revival of Babylonian pagan stuff. Christ Mass has nothing to do with Jesus Christ at all. But we've allowed women in American culture to tell us what we're going to believe because their emotions are so wrapped around a tree, eggnog, and the feel goodism of, I mean, why do women like that holiday so much? Because it's all based in materialism, it's all based on getting stuff. Women talk a lot about, oh, for me, it's about Christ. No, it isn't. It's about your emotions and your materialistic lust. When a woman can make millions of dollars at a concert, when people care more about baseball, basketball, football, and hockey stats than they do an election. When people in America say, I don't vote, I don't get into politics. Oh, but you'll get into star and celeb culture. I don't care who they are. No star is worth multiple millions of dollars for generating a crummy song that crummy people listen to. And by the way, today's rap and R&B is not music. It's garbage. You're cussing, saying suck my dick. That's not music. It's urban warfare of the worst kind. It's ghetto. And we live in a country, you try to do something about the problems, you won't get anywhere. Because the laws are not there to protect you anymore. They're there to protect the criminal. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. We grew up with lies. We all thought Pat Benatar was hot. She was hot. But was she a lady? No. Hit me with your best shot before I put another notch in my lipstick case. I mean, you know us. We idolized people that were not role models in the sense of what God wanted them to be. Now we have women, lesbianism is off the charts. Women now have been told over and over and over and over again they don't need a man, though some still want a man as an ATM or for their Vanity Fair afloat. It's very rare to find women in this culture that want a man to love and to cherish him, and he to love and cherish her. That's getting very difficult to find that. Fleetwood Mac, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. No, she didn't say male or female, but she's implying it's the males that play. Even Stevie Nicks and others fail to realize women have played way more games than men have. I could cite from my own personal experiences of women touching me on the shoulder in a workplace, coming up, oh, I like your hair, I like your necklace, I like this, and every day making it a point to come over and talk to me. And then when you Finally get over yourself and say, would you like my phone number? We got to go out sometime. And then the very next day, they stop talking to you. And there's all kinds of idiots that'll comment on that and say, oh, well, you're just mad because you didn't get. No, I'm not. When I see that, it makes me realize, wow, here I thought she was nice. Here I thought she was interested. I was wrong again. And some smart ass will say, well, just because somebody talks to you doesn't mean they're interested in you. Duh. But there's other things that the women do that are confusing mixed signals. You know, if I'm in an ocean liner and I see a ship half my size going across my bow and I'm just blowing the horn and making no effort to turn, and it's a ways away, people are going to say he deliberately rammed us. When a woman is touching me, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Flirting, sending signals, and then you react. And this happened a lot in Colorado. Colorado was good for this. And I think that that's women's immature way of getting back at men. They're mad about a relationship, so they'll come on to men, tease them, get them all worked up. And then when they finally bite down on the hook, then they laugh and mock, and they give back to the community what they felt was given to them. Women are very vengeful, they're very shallow, they're very unforgiving, and you have to be careful about that. I don't even need to say not all women are like this. Most are. Most are like this. But we grew up, Joan Jett wasn't no lady, and men think, oh, she's hot. She was a toughie. And men will complain about bull dyke, butch women with a baseball hat on sideways. But look at the women that men want in this culture. Some bar chick who talks tough and cusses and got that strong voice. Yeah, that's a lady, huh? I got my chick on my Harley with me, man. Oh, yeah, she's looking all man with that pit hair and sweat. Oh, boy. Licky, licky, licky. Our culture has been for a long time grooming women to become male. The lies that we believe. You watch the news for the last few weeks, every day it's been a tornado somewhere in the middle of the US, tearing up stuff. Gigantic hail from golf ball size to baseball sized, billions of dollars worth of damage. There was a rock slide in Palau, which now they're saying 2,000 dead, buried alive. Boulders the size of pickup trucks, trees and logs and everything. I mean, this is what a hell of a slide. There's all this stuff going on. And Biden is lying to the American public saying that Trump and Trump supporters are dangerous. We've had almost 4 years go by with the worst economy, the highest inflation on utilities, everyday goods, from food and clothing and homes and taxes. And this Biden's going to sit here and say that we conservatives are a danger. Might I remind my ignorant, those viewers that aren't my fans that just tune in, the ignorant ones that support the Democrat left, just remember you had more take-home pay 5 years ago than you do now. The cost has went way up. Way up. And people can say what they want. That was done in most part by the Democrats. They had the draconian lockdowns, which shuttered businesses for good, while Clownface, Gavin Newsom, who's got that gel gay hairstyle, the guy has never ran a push mower. He's never done hard work in his life. He's a politician full of himself. Goes and has a $300 fungal dinner at a French restaurant when everybody was ordered shut down. Nancy Pelosi, like a little toddler, runs through a hair salon with no mask on and then gets up on national TV. You should just shove it, you drunken slush. I have no respect for these people, nor should I. They're not deserving of respect. When your eyes get open to what's going on around, it paints a pretty grim picture. When your eyes get open to the things I see, there are times when I hit some depression. We're not going back, folks. We're not going to just wake up and people say making America great again. That is not going to happen. You got half the voting public that still believes the Democratic Party's good. You got a majority of Americans that still crave and buy and pay into and tithe Hollywood. Then we got a public education system, which is mandated by the federal government for kids to go to school, and they're getting indoctrinated in a bunch of hoo-ha, telling us we evolved from primordial slime and monkeys, among many other misnomers. Lies generate a lot. Look at what CNN and MSNBC and the liberal networks did with the George Floyd thing. Lied, misrepresented, twisted shit. Didn't show the other video that showed him laying in the patrol car. Nobody was on him, and I can't breathe, I can't breathe. That was because of the fentanyl. But we showed the video with the knee in his back. I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And that came way later. The first video that was shot from the police body cam was never shown until America erupted into flames and chaos. How come CNN and ABC and all these clowns aren't subpoenaed into court for creating a disturbance? If I go downtown anywhere USA and scream and yell and start problems, I'm going to be arrested for disorderly conduct. The media is guilty of disorderly conduct. They make news by creating news, and they love riots, and they love it, and they like to be right on the ground filming all this. And it's funny how they get immunity. When ABC said they had Bill Clinton and Epstein and all this, the federal court should have subpoenaed all of those ABC people, said, so you had information on this crap. I have worked with children, and I have to be a mandatory reporter. If I see or suspect abuse and I don't say anything, I'm in trouble. I have to report it. But the news doesn't. The news can keep it under hush hush and lock and key. Google can supply child porn through their search engine and contraband, and Google doesn't get in trouble for that? The fuck? Google should be shut down. They are a bullying bulldozer. Their daily take in pay on ads alone is ridiculous. Hey Siri, how many dollars does Google take in a day?
Okay, I found this on the web. For how many dollars does Google take in a day? Check it out.
Wow, listen to this. So Google revenue per day, 842 billion. Per hour, 35. Wow, this is unbelievable. 35 million per hour is 35. No, per hour is 35 million. Per second, Google per second is $9,747.40 per second. Per year, it looks like $307 billion, $394 million. That's absurd. Has anybody gotten annoyed at these ads that they not only stick on a 3-minute song, cuts off the song? You got ads you can no longer click off, you got two. Video continues after ad. Ads. Google lies. And then in the middle of the song, an ad pops up. An hour-long commercials for St. Jude's Research Hospital. And I got to stop what I'm doing and click it off. Why is Google so greedy? And they just had a video with Tucker Carlson where they admitted to, they had closed door meetings saying, we got to stop this election. America is not about justice. It's about the golden rule. Google's pulling in tons of freaking money. They are evil. They are greedy. They are double standard. They are censorship Nazis, except of their own selves. They support the Democrat left and socialism. You can watch this sleight of hand, people. They support the Democrat left and socialism, but they're greedy ass capitalist pigs of the worst order. Billions of dollars a year, nearly $10,000 a second. There's that a minute. Let's try this again. Per second. That is ridiculous. We got problems in America. We got problems in the education system. We got poverty in this country. We got bad roads. Is Google doing a damn thing to fix that? No. I don't care what anybody says. These organizations that are social media is geeks' revenge. I've said this about Zuckerberg. He's building bunkers and hiding because he's a fucking coward. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He's an arrogant prick. And all he's doing is amassing billions of dollars with his little high-maintenance Asian wife. These are not good people, folks. They're evil. They support the Democrat left. He supported Hillary Clinton, anti-Trump, lives in mansions. How's that for spherical heating? How's that for preserving the environment? Oprah Winfrey, another overweight buffoon, can't stop all the eating and can't stop overspending on 8 mansions, one of them costing $90 million. Saying to the world that whites are privileged, she made most of her cash off white housewives that were foolish enough to eat out of her hand on her silly little TV show of Harpo Productions. I don't view things the way all the popularity cults view them. Oprah Winfrey is a self-centered narcissist, a glutton. She's a materialistic whore. You got people struggling in the world, and she wants to focus on the black versus white. What's she doing for India? What's she doing for the Philippines? What's she doing for the poor Nigerians getting kicked out of their homes and ran off the property because the government's just seizing land? What is Oprah doing? Nothing. She spent millions of dollars for Barack Obama to win because he's a black. I'm going to say it like it is. I don't care if the whole fucking America hates me. I hate a lot of what America's doing. I'm offended every day. But where's my rights to not be offended? We cater to these dipsticks that won't get a job. We cater to these illegals. We cater to bad drivers. We cater to bad people and bad politicians that never get investigated because the left is controlling everything. Epstein hung himself in jail. Yeah, right. Got a bridge? The Democrats are liars. They follow their father, the devil. They are not the party of compassion when they've killed 61 million children. And I'm sick and tired of it being called a fetus, a tissue blob. God is not going to smile at that. He's not going to smile at any of it. AOC and Tlaib and Omar, those are not good women. These aren't even ladies. They're a problem. And the Apostle Paul said it. I do not permit a woman to teach or have authority over men. And guess what? Our public education system is dominated by feminist, anti-God, anti-male, men-hating women. And you wonder why there's all this trans, and you wonder why there's gender confusion, and you wonder why little boys are growing up to be sissies and little girls are growing up to be badass tomboys. And they're doing road rage just as bad as the men. I come out from Dollar Tree and I observed a black woman hauling ass between the rows of parked cars. She had that childish, I don't give a fuck face on. And you see that all across. Why would anybody haul butt through a congested business venue parking lot? Because they're stupid. That's why. That's when you want to get one of those blow up dummies that's got some weight to it that looks like a real kid and shove them out between the parked cars and watch them freak out, swerve, or hit everything. Guy told me that in Spokane. You see how fast these people come down the street? We had a narrow street. There were cars parked bumper to bumper, both sides. I know because I rented. These were old 1920s homes. They turned them into fourplexes. So you had a lot of cars in a neighborhood. We took up every square inch on both sides of the street. And it's narrow. And these people go, and there was a bodybuilder guy across the street. He says, do you see that? He said, man, I want to get one of those dummies that looks like a kid and shove it out between the cars and watch them crash. I said, you know what? That'd be a good idea. Except I don't want him hitting my damn truck. We're not going to make America great. I hope Trump wins. It'll slow the decay down. But look, Biden's the only clown the Democrats are putting out. Not Gavin Newsom. Not anybody else. And why are the Democrats so confident? How much is Google worth? How much? I wish I was rich enough to buy it and shut it down. Hey Siri, Google's net worth.
Okay, I found this on the web for net worth. Check it out.
Oh, they won't tell us. So Siri will not do some tricks here. Hey Siri, are you sexy?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Hey Siri, can we go on a date?
No thanks. If there's anything else I can help you with, let me know.
Hey Siri, are you a female?
I don't have a gender.
Hey Siri, are you a Christian?
I don't have a religion.
Hey Siri, are you an atheist?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Hey Siri, are you a liberal Democrat?
I appreciate your interest in politics, but it's not a part of my programming. This is a good conversation to have with a fellow human.
Typical woman going to educate me when I ask a question. I didn't need an education, Siri. I needed an answer. Isn't that fun? I was doing this with my roommate the other day. I said, listen to this stuff. I'm jumping around here, but we men have a problem with lust. We are hoodwinked by beauty. We fall in love over beauty. And that's where we go wrong every time. Now social media is parading out young, minus 18-year-old ladies, young ladies, that are staying up all hours of the day and night because they now have a platform of complete goddess status with mostly men. They can't get a date. And women will say, oh, they're pigs. You ladies back them all into that corner. You're going to take no responsibility for that? But Facebook, Google, Instagram, Pinterest, they're not shutting that down. They'll censor me for posting a picture of an adult woman with nipples poking through, but guess what? You got reels all over Facebook with tween girls with nipples poking through and even a nipple slip. Where is Zuckerberg? Where's Google? Where's the self-policing by the industry? Not a damn thing. But they'll still pick at me. This article was proved mostly false. By who? Some geekster that sucks Zuckerberg's penis? They're not fact checkers. These are opinion idiots that don't agree with something. So they're going to cock block anybody who has an opposing viewpoint. Zuckerberg is Jewish and he's acting like Adolf Hitler. His whole institution is acting like the SS. Isn't that ironic? People claiming to support truth and freedom are censoring anything that has to do with truth or freedom. But why is Zuckerberg building a damn bunker? Because he's a coward. That's why. All these rich cats are cowards. They got the money to kill us. They got the money to destroy us and brush the evidence under the rug. But they're afraid of dying because they don't know the living God. I do. I wish it was like a movie where God would come down and vanquish these people. I wish the Democratic Party would implode on itself and go down in flames. I wish Google would go bankrupt and everybody got fired and the whole agency crashed to the ground. I wish Facebook would dry up and disappear. I wish that people would talk to each other again and start doing grassroots things and change their neighborhoods and communities and stand up to these gangs and these criminals and stand in the middle of the street and say, you're not going to drive down the street playing that bass and that shitty music. You're going to stop today, homie. Americans are scared shitless and they won't do anything about real problems. We're going to get on social media and drown ourselves in it. And all that's happening is the door is being opened for true pedophilia. It is opening the door. It is making it more acceptable with these reels by young ladies. And men are side-oriented. They're going to look. They're going to pursue this, on a superficial basis. Where are the people that run these social media organizations? Where's their censorship? This isn't something I'm making up. They showed some little league boy running off the field and his shorts were standing straight up and it showed him having a boner. Why are they showing stuff like that? And you can put on there, I don't want to see this stuff or see less of this or whatever. Our society is on the verge of exploding into a sexual cauldron. And we've said it before, if you legalize gay sex, what's going to come next? Underage sex, dog sex, animal sex. You think I'm joking around? It's interesting in the Bible, it says that even though God sends the different judgments during the tribulation, it says they repented not of their sorceries, their idolatry, and their sexual immoralities. Those three things are going to be reigning supreme during the tribulation. Why? Because Facebook, Google, the media, the school systems are all opening the door for this. It's okay to explore your penis with another boy. It's fun to rub vaginas together, girls. It's okay. They're not learning how to compete against Asia or Russia. We're not developing solid anything anymore. We've built a whole culture off of cyberdust. Millennials, young people aren't going to get a hard labor job anymore. They want to sit around and have themselves spoon-fed big money while they think they're important. You got all these young ladies sitting around in the room in their pajamas and sweaty underwear all day going, I'm going to show you how to stretch. Wow, thanks. I'm glad that you're educating me on that. Just like Herod daughter danced before the king and all the men he was showing her off to. And Herod got so horny, up to half the kingdom, I'll give it to you. A man only says that kind of stuff when he's got a heart on. And the penis Olympics, boys, is real. It's going on. Google and all them they want you to be addicted to porn. They want you to be addicted to this stuff. They want you to just sit down and view them all day long and be wrapped in your own little cyclonic addictive world. But call them out, expose them, they'll shut you down. Where's our government? Where's the FBI? Where's the justice system? But every so often you hear about a guy busted for looking at underage porn. Why are they not going after the provider? That doesn't make no sense to me. Shut down the supplier and they have nowhere to get it. But let's bust the guy who wants to bust a nut down on Sprague with a prostitute. That to me is bullshit. She's the one trafficking, get her. Our system of justice favors women. Now we got a plethora of underage women, and the Democrats support that. How many Democrat politicians went to Fantasy Island with Epstein and friends? How many? We don't know. We'll never know. Because Epstein's madame was not forced to pony up anything. Used to be that they would have said, okay, we'll give you a lighter sentence if you cough up names. The Democrats don't want it to be known. Folks, we're living in dangerous, dangerous times. People still care more about football and celeb bullshit culture than they do what's really going on. Oh, I don't get into politics. I know you get into flake. That's all you're into is flake and helium and hair salon spray. That's it. Has anybody noticed the drivers have gotten worse? I thought Denver was bad. The whole country has gotten worse. We've got more safety features in cars today than ever before, and yet we have more accidents. Well, yeah, Mike, because there's more cars on the road. No, because people are morons. Let's go 100 miles an hour through a crowded parking lot. That makes sense. Or the frontage road out in front of a Walmart where you really need to watch what you're doing. And you're just going to zoom by. And yeah, people are amazing, aren't they? But back to Facebook and social media, why are they not being held accountable for giving a platform? If I was using my home to photograph underage girls, even though I wasn't doing it, if I allowed men to come in and use the rooms in my house as stage props, as backdrops, I'm going to jail. But Google can host this shit. Facebook can provide it. Nothing happens to them. Why is that? Because money talks and bullshit is ignored. That's why. Zuckerberg will never be put into prison. He should be. And all his staff that know this is flowing through their conduit called Facebook, they should be arrested for that. Charged with a sex crime. Should be called a sexual offender. And then the list should be published where they live. You see how we have a two-tier justice system? The rich can do whatever the fuck they want. And we've got monolithic oligarchy corporations getting away with all kinds of murder. Zuckerberg's whole organization is guilty as charged. So is Google. To be sure, Google and Facebook might turn in some stuff. But watch this. The feds might come along and try to bust all the men that looked at all the reels, even though Facebook said, recommended for you. Here, check this out. I could see the federal government doing something like that. Oh, you're not going to bust the host. You're going to bust the viewer. That does not solve the problem. You make an example of the host, and that scared the shit out of everybody. Oh, shit. They just got taken down for having this stuff. Facebook's gone, man. But no, the Democrats are prospering off of all this money. Zuckerberg spent $240 million on voting machines. I thought the government was supposed to do that. Were these voting machines calibrated and set to flip votes? You're not allowed to say that because Zuckerberg's team will censor you. Of course they were calibrated and set to fuck with the election. We know this. Google wants to be in denial. Google themselves had in-house meetings where they want to thwart Trump. Google's not just some innocuous search engine. They're a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse, along with Jeff Bezos, along with Facebook, that seeks to rule the world and get rid of any of us who disagree with them. Geeks' revenge is real, folks. These people you laughed at in school with the pen protectors, they're ganging up on us and they're bullies now. They're not fighting with these, they're fighting with this, and they're fighting with cash capital that you can't even begin to take on. If Pacific was worth $1 trillion, I'd go up to Google and say, how much? I'd shut it down. Jeff Bezos of Amazon, they had something on Facebook the other day praising him because he's doing so. I said, man, this guy's not to be praised. He's a greedy son of a bee. His working conditions suck. Hurry up, hurry up. You can't work there 20, 25 years and retire, and he doesn't care. He's a soulless ghoul making big money. He doesn't work as hard as the people that work for him, and they burn out in months. I'm so sick of these shit jobs coming to a shitty town with an economy collapsing. Oh, they're coming and providing jobs to the area. Yeah, $10 an hour jobs. Shitty jobs where the people come home downtrodden. Oh, God, I hate working in here. But Google can throw hacky sacks around. Whee! This is fun. We get to fuck with humanity and make millions of dollars doing it. Do you not see a correlation? Those who work the hardest get beaten down the most, have the shortest life expectancy, while the clowns live high on the hog, rake in the most profits, and do nothing but destroy. Jeff Bezos is an asshole, and I would say it to his face. The U.S. government used to step in and prevent monopolies. They haven't done it with Google. They haven't done it with Bezos. They haven't done it with Walmart. Yeah, okay. Because there's big kickbacks going back to the government for all that. The Democrat government, that is. America wonders why things are this way. Well, you taught your kids Santa was real. You taught your kids that reindeer that fly through the air really exist. You taught your kids the Easter Bunny. You teach that there's Bigfoot and UFOs, and you teach that there is no God and that we ooze from some primordial shit in the universe somewhere. Absolute lies. And I love these so-called scientists that put the big laughter, ha-ha, to everything I say. Ha-ha to you. When you're sitting in the lake of fire, try to tell me the science behind that one, okay? I must say it again. It takes more faith to believe in the foolishness of evolution than it does to believe that God created it just as he stated in the book of Genesis. But you can't argue with cultists. The evolution scientific community, the atheist community, they're cult. The Democrats are a cult. American women are a cult. Anything you say of truth, they're going to yell and scream, laugh, and insult because they have no truth to come back with, to counter with. It's feelings-driven thinking, not logic, because we're not going to call it logic anymore. It's feelings-driven thinking. We're done with the emotionally driven logic because it's not logic. If it's emotionally driven, it's not logic. Democrats, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, atheists calling themselves scientists, and American women lack concrete thinking skills. Oh, but Democrats went to college. Mm-hmm. Have drunken beer and toga parties. Isn't it neat how our country did that seismic shift? They got everybody brainwashed to think that the guy with the college degrees, oh, he's where it's at. I'm going to say it again. People complain I'm shirtless. They complain I blow my nose. They complain about any variety of things. But guess who's ruining the country? Those who went to college, those who wear suits and ties, those that learn to play the little dumb game of make believe. It is not the working class that's causing the problems and the riots and the bullshit in this country. May I gently remind you of that? The media has freedom of the press to incite riots with no accountability. If I was a dictatorial leader, which was what this country needs at this point, because I'm going to say it again, Americans have abused their freedom, and this media should be shut down. We should not allow freedom of speech for the media to instigate riots. The news is out of control. They take a video floating around of a criminal man named George Floyd, and by their airing of that video, they are directly responsible for bringing billions of dollars of death and destruction, riots and mayhem and fires and vandalism of the worst order, instead of getting all the facts in the case. If I go and start a public disturbance in any town in America, I will be charged with public disturbance, inciting a riot. But the media, nothing ever happens to them. Isn't that awesome? If you're rich and you're powerful and you're big and you favor the Democrat left, you get a free pass, folks. You get to ride that bus for free. If I go to college and get brainwashed in leftism, I will have a job. If I go to college and get a degree in journalism and believe all the leftist shit, I'll have a job at the major networks. If you're conservative, you are discriminated against. You will not get hired. Equal opportunity employer does not apply to the Democrat left. In fact, they're encouraging discrimination against whites daily. This country right now is deeply mired in a swamp of lies. And this morning, there are black and white women that will get up and all they care about is celeb bullshit hairspray culture. And drive like shit, act like shit, can't even dress right, and think they're all that on a stick. So nothing's changing for the better, folks. Nothing. We're drowning in our own stupidity. We're drowning in our own lies. Isn't this fun? Let's see if I have a fan base left after this video. The truth needs to be spoken. But does it change anything? Not really. Not really. This is Pacific signing off.